Okay, welcome to the Franchise Time Machine. We are getting ready to do a cat-themed baseball team in 2025. I'm getting the pet giveaway form ready first, so we can go ahead and have that up and running. I should have done this earlier, but I'm looking through my messages to see if I can find. Here it is. I was looking for the URL for the charity. He was raising funds for Mermaids UK, a charity that supports trans youth in the UK. What? It says can't sync changes. Why is that? Okay, copy, revert. Did it not like the link? Okay. Maybe we're not allowed to embed links. Alright, I won't paste it then. I'll just do... I guess it doesn't like links. mermaidsuk.org.uk. I got lots of help from okay. Okay. Alright, let's see. It is possible this team will be the worst in the major, so I've included that. So it starts with will they have the worst record in the majors, worst record in their sub league. In this case, it'll be the AL for the Tigers. Last in their division, and then will they make the playoffs, win the division? It is possible, though. I should reinsert the questions about. There could be a Cy Young winner. They could make it to the World Series. Playoffs, win this division. Will this team make it to the World Series? Yes or no? And then, will this team win the World Series? I took some of these questions out because with the roster I initially used this form for, it would not have been possible. Will a player from this team win the Cy Young Award. Wilson win the MVP award. Note: pitchers are not allowed to win the MVP in this sim. Okay. Then regular season wins. Then everyone gets to come back in for second place, no matter what happens in the Survivor Style section. So how many games behind, how many All-Stars, Gold Glove, Platinum Stick, ranking 1st through 30th. Just give me a number. 1 is the best, 30 is the worst. Runs scored, batting average, home runs hit. And then there's a question here. Yeah, okay. This form's good. Good to go. I just realized I went through that form without showing you what I was doing. So, but it is ready to go. Here's the link to the form. Dr. Danastic, thank you for the raid. Welcome in, Raiders. We're just about to get started. I just put the finishing touches on the pack giveaway form, which is now pinned to the chat. You can guess how this team is going to do in the 2025 season. First place is 7 packs. Second place is 3 packs. And I will introduce you to all the players who are going to be on the roster. You can see the players get imported, see what their profiles look like. You can enter at any point. If you have to take off now, you can just submit, and you don't have to be present to win. You'll still win if your answers are good. But otherwise, most people like to wait to see what the team looks like. Welcome to Storm Bucket. Storm Bucket, did I hear you're now a GM of a Red Rock League team? Congratulations. Scritches are still off the board. Yes, let's see. Is he back in the room? He is not in the room. I will turn them on when he returns to the room. He is still out of the room. My dog is out of the room, and it was just a little too disruptive to have to go out into the living room to give him scritches every time. I do see him looking now because he sees me sitting at the computer talking, so I think he knows he can get some scritches. All right, let's take a look at the roster file, because that'll be a quick way to kind of show you. Or we could go right to the intro slides. That's an option too. Let me see what the roster file looks like at this point. I don't think I have any mods on right now, so I'm going to have to ban this person. Okay. Let's see. Cat. Looks like I got to go into Google Sheets first. File open. I know this is off screen for you, so Cat's roster build. There it is. Oh no, I think there's 2. Which one is the right one? I think it's this one. Yes, here it is. All right. Now we do have a 26-man roster. Let me do this. Let me put the game up. I just realized I don't have a separate title slide versus versus the player intro slides. They're all in the same thing, so I need to make sure. I think we made some final adjustments to the roster, and I don't know that they made it into the slide. Okay, let's see. We did make a change. Okay. I see what we did. All right, let me make this one change before I put it up. I believe this will fully update the file. I think it's also helpful for you to see where the roster came from, because if you ever want to do something like this, seeing how I build a roster file might help you do it too. There's a million ways you can do it. This just happens to be the way I do it. So first, I have a spreadsheet that I use where I put all the players. So it's a themed roster, so we need all the positions. So I start with that. Okay, so I have all the positions I want, the player names. Johnny Fury, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. So I figure out who I want, and then I go look them up on Baseball Reference, where I can get their player ID and the year I want. And then I've got this cell, which concatenates the player ID, a comma, the year I want, a comma, and then the destination. So this destination, in case I want to use the file again, I usually use Franchise Time Machine. Okay. So then that creates this import column. This is what I actually paste into the import file. And we're going to take a few more than the 26 we need, just in case we have problems with any of the players importing. We'll have some backup options. I don't know what happened here with Kitty Brashear, but we can... Mudcat Grant's already up in the main roster. I can delete this row now. So we're going to take a few extra players, but this is who I intend to start if they all import well. And I also tried to note whoever suggested certain names, so I could give them credit. So yeah, this was all, well let's do the intro slides. Here are the players that we're going to be bringing in. Okay, so our catchers are Ted Simba Simmons and Humberto El Gato Quintero. Those are both actually suggested by Clay Dog, so our catchers come from Clay Dog. Our infielders, first base, Johnny Big Cat Mize, Felix the Big Cat Mian, Mets legend. Third base is Don Tiger Hoke. That was a foot for hand suggestion. And then Clay Dog found that Rogers Hornsby's nickname was Raja, so he became eligible for the team, which suddenly gave us a Hall of Famer. When we started, it was just like all the cat names I could find. So there were people who had like 50 plate appearances or had pitched in one game on the roster. So a lot of these suggestions from the chat really helped improve our team. Johnny Mize too had a big season that we were able to bring in. Smiley Face Jane found that there was a cat breed called the Bambino, which let us add Babe Ruth. So amazing find there. Al Kaline in center field. In right field, Lance Big Puma Berkman. That was Lisa Lowe's biology suggestion. And at DH and backing up first base, of course, we couldn't do this without Kitty Bransfield. Then we go to the reserves, the reserve position players. Frank Catalanato, which I thought was an amazing cat reference by Lisa loves biology. Um, Chase Cheetah Darno is another backup utility player. One of the cooler nicknames, who also now Lubov now plays for the Mets. Luis La Pantera Robert Jr. And then maybe the best nickname we found, this was from Foot for Hand, was Craig Kitten Face Gentry. And then the starting rotation, of course, we had to go with Jim Kitty Cott. Had several really good seasons to choose from, so that was great. Harry the Cat Burkeen, who I wasn't even aware of until I started playing Perfect Team, and we started getting his cards in late cycles to bring in a big left-handed card into Perfect Team. Um, Possibly our most controversial pick, we have Jim Catfish Hunter. Cat name, but fish animal. But gave us some really good seasons to choose from as well. Tony the Catman Gonsolin. I think Gonsolin has a recent, pretty new Perfect Team card, so that worked out pretty well. And then Harvey Haddix, who I didn't know until I was researching for this, that his nickname was Kitten. And then the bullpen. I'll start in the middle. Nerd of Anarchy gave us two really great suggestions. Heathcliff Slocum and Bill Garfield. Jim Panther, who I actually found doing an animal-themed roster a cycle or two ago, and then we mentioned that to Spore during something. He was doing something, and then he made a card for it almost immediately, which was a lot of fun. So Jim Panther appears in many of our themed rosters, so he's back for this cat team. Len Meow Gilmore, and then another good find by Lisa Oswaldi, John Catnatch from 1884. And then from Smiley Face Jane, rounding out our bullpen, two from Smiley Face Jane, Don the Sphinx Mossy, and Mudcat Grant. So that's who we're going to try to go with. Some of the pre-1900s players in particular, I'm a little worried about how they're going to sim, so we have some backup players in the file we're going to bring in. But that's who we're going with. And again, it's in the pack giveaway form, but the person who chose this theme was in fellow streamer Ophi's channel. Let me give Ophi a shout out. Her stream has nothing to do with sports. It's just when I first started streaming, Cheeky, who used to stream, was an OOTP affiliate who also streamed at night. He did this thing where if no one else was streaming OTP, he would try to find someone with like a pretty small audience in either music or arts and crafts and raid into them. And I thought that was really fun too. They're always kind of surprised. They're always grateful. And I think that's how I first found Ophi's stream. But it's a really great stream. She's really entertaining. Her chat is super fun. The vibe is great. And when I'm done streaming, there's usually no one streaming OTP, but I still usually have some drafts and stuff to do. So I found it to be a great place to hang out and do my drafts and stuff before logging off for the night. And so I've kind of become a regular there. And so every year during Pride Month, she does a fundraising week. And so this week she was raising funds for Mermaids UK. If anyone's interested, I did put a link to the charity in the pack giveaway form. But it's a charity that supports trans youth in the United Kingdom, and she asked if I would be the guest on one of her streams that week. And I don't do arts and crafts, so my first response was like, "Oh hey, I think you sent this to the wrong person." But it turns out she was actually inviting me to do it, which is super flattering, and it was a lot of fun. And they have all these art prizes that people had donated. That when you hit certain donation milestones, they would like do another prize giveaway. And so while I was on, I was like, "Hey, I don't know if anyone's gonna be interested in this, but I can donate something. I don't want it to take away a chance for someone to win a piece of art. Because if you won an art prize, you couldn't win another art prize that week. So I said, look, I don't know if anyone's going to be interested. I would definitely wouldn't want to take a chance for someone to win art away. So if they win, can they still be eligible to win something else? And so she said yes, and her mods made it happen. And so the person who won was, so it's Din 8 times plus another D at the end. So it's Din 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 D is the user who won it, and they chose a cat themed sim. So that's what we're doing. Yes, I do arts and crafts within OOTP. That is true. So we did the roster build on one of my streams, and as you can see from all the names in these roster slides, right, there's Claydog twice, there's Foot for Hand and Claydog here, Smiley Face Jane and Lisa Loves Biology, who I just saw in the chat. Lisa Loves Biology twice and Foot for Hand on this slide. All my picks made it on the rotation. All right. And then Nerd of Anarchy with the Heathcliff and Garfield suggestions. Lisa Loves Biology again, and then Smiley Face Jane with 2 more in the bullpen here. So it was really fun to have a team effort there too. Galarraga was in until we had to make our final cuts, and Johnny Mize both took the first base spot and the Big Cat nickname. So Galarraga got it hard from Johnny Mize. But the Johnny Mize season was, there were a lot of tough cuts. Lisa Loves Biology is right. There were a lot of tough ones. But it was a fun one. And I found this terrible, terrible painting of Johnny Mize that I couldn't not use for the intro slides. Like I found this like really cool looking picture of Mian. I think Hoke and Hornsby look really tough in their pictures, and then there's this Johnny Mize picture. So yeah, so if you ever want to help out with one of these, I usually do them on Tuesday nights if we have one coming up. But they're a lot of fun, and so I mentioned this earlier. I just went by names only for my first cut, and then the team improved a lot. Like getting Rogers Hornsby from Claydog, that was big. Smiley Face Jane letting us know about the Bambino breed of cat, that was huge to get Babe Ruth. Lance Berkman, another big bat from Lisa Loves Biology. Like a lot of these names really helped improve the roster in the home stretch. And also up the entertainment value of the team too, I think. Yes, Lisa Loves Biology was lobbying hard for a different picture for Johnny Mize. So if anyone in here is a Johnny Mize fan, LLB had your back. I was the one who could not get away from this picture. I wonder if OTP can get the rights to this painting to use in a perfect team card. Could you imagine a perfect team card with this face on it? Oh man. Anyway, this is the team we're gonna run. It should be a lot of fun. Like I said, because of the mix of high level talent and purely nickname based choices, this team could finish anywhere. I have no idea. I really don't know. But let me show you now how we go from this Excel, or I use Google Sheets. But I'll show you how to go from that to a file you can then upload into the game. Because you can import players one at a time in OTP, but it's much easier to do it with a file, to do a batch. Okay, so this is an example of what a file looks like. This is a test file that for, I believe, I was trying to make a roster with the lowest WAR seasons in baseball history, but by the positions so that we could fill a complete roster. We'll sim that sometime soon. I know that seems to be bad. I don't know how bad, but it's going to be bad. But you can see how it's the player ID, comma, the season we want, comma, and then the destination. I use FTM for. Wait, Ollie North said that my picture is his 1951 Bowman baseball card. Oh man, that makes it even worse that it was actually used for a baseball card. Wow. Now I feel less bad that it's in some stream that like no one's gonna see after today. Wow, what a terrible baseball. Could you imagine like you make it to the bigs, you're so excited to get your baseball card, and then like that's what your face looks like on it. Man. Alright, so it's gonna look like this. So here's why I have that column set up in the spreadsheet. Right? We can just grab that column now. It has all the information we need. And so I'm just going to copy. Oh, wait. See, I have to drag down the franchise time machine. And we're just going to go from here up. So we copy that. I start a new one of these. And I paste that in. Now, where you see like they're indented, there's one that's indented here. That's just because the last name was not 5 letters. So the player ID is 5 letters, so the first 5 letters of the last name, first 2 letters of the first name, and then a number, two-digit number. If no one's had that letter combination before, then it's 01. If someone's had it before, then you become 02, 03, and so on. Most players are 01, so you can usually guess it. But every once in a while, you have like an 07 here, right? So that'll throw you off if that happens. All right, so let me just save this. This is Simulation OOTP27, episode, what is it, 733? Yeah, 733, Cat Beam. Okay, so now I can find that file, because I know the name. All right, so now let's go into the game and set this up. Now for these single season sims, I like to use a quick start that we use for a create a roster game, which is a community game we play on stream. Anyone can play, it's just a channel part redemption. But the point of the quick start is that it minimizes the changes to the players and rosters throughout the season. Injuries are turned off, trades are turned off, player development, coaching, those are all turned off. Ollie North says, Mize autographed at least one of that card. He probably thought, who is this guy on this card and why do they want me to sign it? Why do people keep handing me drawings of this creep to sign? Alright, this is Sim27, episode 733, Cat Theme. And create that game. And now we are going to take over the Tigers since it is a cat-themed sim. Seemed appropriate to take over the Tigers. And cannot be fired. Is there a cat named Manager that I can put in as the manager? How's there? Who? Let's see. No, as far as Google knows, there has not been a manager with a cat theme name. Alright, so we'll just go with my usual manager then. I should have thought of that to do that. We could have done the whole coaching staff. Because you can name your coaches too. We could have changed the names of all of our coaches in here. All right, so mailbox settings we need for the pack giveaway. So these do not import with a quick start, so we're gonna have to do those on our own. And then also manager options do not import with a quick start, and I uncheck these to minimize the interruptions to the sim. And then we have to clear out the roster. All right, now we go to, I changed the destination to FTM for Franchise Time Machine. At least that's what I said. I've got to learn how to do this. I mean, it's right here. If there's anything I'm not explaining, please let me know. And as far as setting up the quick start, every time we do a new historic game in a year I don't have, I have to set it up from scratch, and that's the same setup I use for 2025 for Creator Roster. So if you find a VOD of any historic game where it's a new year, you can watch that. But yeah, if you have any specific questions too, you can let me know. Especially in the late night stream where things are pretty chill and we should have a lot more time. So we're gonna go to game settings, league settings, and under league structure, you can change it up here too. But I find it easier to do it here just to make sure like I'm seeing everything and it's a simple change. Right here, we're going to go Franchise Time Machine. And now, when we use this import file, right, it'll find the Franchise Time Machine designation and put the players in that roster. Okay, so to do the import, we go to the free agency screen. You can go to the manager pull down, GM and manager actions, sign a free agent. But to do this, you have to be the manager of the team. Smiley Face Jane later showed me if you're not managing that team or not managing team in general, you can go to MLB pull down, reports and info, and there's a free agent screen here. Takes you to the same spot, but that's really cool if you're not a manager of a team at the time. All right, so if you're in commissioner mode, which you have to be to do these things, you go to the actions pull down menu here. So for create a roster, we create fictional players. For sims like this, we import historical players from the historical database. Now up here, you can enter players one at a time. I do use this, especially when we're troubleshooting and someone didn't come in right because I put the wrong year or I spelled their player ID wrong. I'll come in here and fix it with like a single player import. But it's much more efficient to do the whole thing at once. So here's the cat theme that I saved. This is that TXT file. This is this. Right, so I'm just uploading this into the game. And we want real stats. We want a 1 year ratings calculation base. You've probably heard me say this before. The default used to be a 3 year calculation base. So if you ask for 1996 Brady Anderson, you got a blend of 95, 96, and 97. And when you're dealing with peak seasons, or like with our low war team with like worse seasons, you don't want a blend with other seasons. So this way you got the single season you want. So we had to ask for this, but to OOTP's credit, they gave it to us within a month and a half, so that was great. Potential ratings based on peak season of career. Fielding ratings, now, this is tricky. 1 year from a peak season usually will give you really good fielding too, because they tend to be at their athletic peak overall as a player. Doing a 3 year blend gives you usually more position flexibility, but a lot of times we see that the rating comes down, right, because you're kind of watering it out of the season. And it almost always comes down when you do entire career, but then you get a lot more flexibility. So for a roster like this, I think we're going to go entire career. Pitcher stamina, I always recommend imported season, especially because some pitchers over the course of the year switch from rotation to bullpen or vice versa. And so you want the stamina from the season you're importing. And then this I take way down, especially for a sim like this. I don't think we had any super small sample size players, but this way no one gets nerfed because they had a small sample size season. No, Tony Phillips, yeah, Tony the Tiger during his Tiger seasons. That would have been a good one. And as a Stratomatic and OOTP player, um, I have a soft spot for super flexible utility guys like Tony Phillips. They're just so much fun to use in a roster. All right, so we're going to import this. The check will be we should have 35 players coming in. The 26 plus 9 extras. So if it's not 35, then I made a mistake somewhere in the file. Okay, we have 34. So I have to now go hunt for the missing player. Okay. So let's see. Ted Simmons. Yep. Johnny Mize. Yep. Mian. Yep. Hoke. Yep. Hornsby and then Ruth. Hornsby, Ruth. Yep. K-Line, Berkman. K-Line, Berkman. Bransfield, Quintero. Bransfield, Quintero. Catalanato, Darno. Catalanato, Darno. Robert Jr. Gentry. There's Gentry. There's Robert Jr. Cott Burkeen. Cott Burkeen. Hunter Gonsolin. Gonsolin Hunter. Gilmore Haddix. Gilmore Haddix. Mossy Panther. Mossy Panther. Catnatch Grant. There's Grant. There's Catnatch. Garfield Slocum. Garfield Slocum. Asher Clary. Asher Clary. Johnson Catterson. There's Catterson. Okay, Johnson did not come in. Ralph Big Cat Johnson did not come in from 1941. Okay, let me look up Ralph Johnson and BREF. Ralph Johnson. JONSRAO7. 1941. Okay, this is an NEL, but it's an NEL League 2. I wonder if that just didn't make it into the database. Okay. He was also on the reserve, I think specifically for that reason. And also, he only had 45 plate appearances that year and a negative WAR. So he was there, I think, mostly to round out the name list. So I think he probably would have been a cut anyway, mostly for the small sample size. But so let's, and now the other thing I look for is 1-star or half-star players, because that also means usually that I put the wrong year in. Some were legitimately bad. Like Len Gilmore was bad. His nickname was Meow though, so I couldn't cut him. Okay, so now let's take a look to see what the
Why do you keep following me
computer
around?
recommends for pitching staff. No way. Thicket Cat just followed. Thicket Cat, thank you for the follow. Amazing follow from Thicket Cat during your cat theme sim. Hold on, I think my air conditioning has turned off somehow. Okay, there we go. It's back on. Wow, Thicket Cat, amazing. Okay, so who did I have? I had Pulowski on my reserve list. I believe this was a sample size issue. Yeah. Uh, 2 games played, 6 games played. So I don't have a problem moving him to the reserve. I just thought Paulowski, Paw, P-A-W, was fun for the cat theme. But we are going to send him to the reserve. Okay, so that's one down. We have, wow, 7 more cuts to make? Okay, I have Big Cat Asher on my cut list. They have him in middle relief used more often, though. Wow. But I can't cut Meow Gilmore or Bill Garfield, so I do think Alec Asher has to. And we also have other big cats, too. So Asher's going to get cut. I think the rest of the cuts are going to be on the position players because we are down to 12 pitchers now. Now, I'll be curious to see. Look at this. We end up having 1, 2. Wow. Lou Bob comes in as a 5-star. Wow, Lou Bob right in the mix with Babe Ruth and Al Kaline as a 5-star. There's some. I mean, you can't always go by the stars, especially depending on what you're trying to do. But these are a lot of high-star players here. All right. So what does the computer want to do with these guys? Wow, Chase Darno. Are we sure? I guess we're not very deep at shortstop. Oh, I know what it is. I had shifted Hornsby to shortstop. Did he come in with shortstop? He did, but he's only a 40. That's why. So I had Hornsby as my shortstop, so they would put me on at second. Yeah. So we're going to do that. Just to get more players on the field. Strategy. Force start at shortstop. Now I think it'll put me on at second base. Nope. Who did it put at second base? Catalanato. Wow. Alright, I'm going to force me on at second base. I'm going to try to stick to the roster that we built, including like the starting players. So, okay, now let's see what that looks like. Alright, we'll check in on the rest after we make our final cuts here. Alright, so also on the cut list, Pat Tabler, because we had too many first basemen. But his name I thought was cool was a Tabby Cat for his last name Tabler. But the Tabby Cat's gonna get cut. Just too many first basemen. But that's an issue with a lot of these roster builds is lots of outfield and first baseman, not enough second baseman, catchers, and left-handed pitchers is pretty typical. Josh Jungle Cat Young. Yeah. Third base again, also a kind of crowded position as well. Cliff Tiger Mapes. We had several players with the nickname Tiger, so I felt okay taking him off. Howdy Cat is he was only here because his last name, like Catalanato, included Cat. Howdy Caton. So we're gonna take Catalanato though was too perfect, so we're gonna keep him. Tom Catterson also did not make it. Ralph Big Cat Johnson didn't import in. Ellis Cat Clary also is going to be a cut. And then I think we should be at 26 players. All right, now let's see what the lineup looks like. Why is 5-star K-Line on the bench? Let's see. We had at catcher Ted Simba Simmons, which is what happened here. We had Johnny Mize at first. Johnny Big Cat Mize at first, yeah. We had Mian at second, which I forced. We had Don Tiger Hoke at third, yeah. We had Raja Hornsby at shortstop, which now he is there because we forced that. Babe Bambino Ruth in. We had Babe Ruth in left, and then Berkman in right. They've switched it, which is fine. That's fine. And then we had K-Line in center. They have Lou Bob in center. Did K-Line not import with good center field? That could be the problem. He's a 60. I mean, I can't, in good conscience, even though Lou Bob is a Mets legend, I mean, you got to start K-Line. So we're going to start. So 4-star at center field. Sometimes the computer does make odd decisions. Like, who was it in one of our other sims, our Triple Crown winner? Oh, Miguel Cabrera won a Triple Crown. But the computer tried to put him on the reserve roster, I think, first. And then wouldn't start him. I had to, like, force-start a bunch of other players in other positions. And it finally would start Miguel Cabrera. And then Miguel Cabrera won the Triple Crown. So I think the computer's gotten a lot smarter about, like, lineup building and roster building. But there are still occasionally some holes. And I'm just trying to show you ways you can address those and minimize your frustration. So now, let's see. So now Lou Bob's on the bench. We had Kitty Bransfield at DH. That's what they have. They have Kitty leading off, too. What's Kitty Bransfield stealing? He's a 75 stealing. Pretty good. All right, and then everyone else is a reserve role, which is what we had. Okay, great. Hornsby batting third. So the lineups are the same both ways. What another thing that the computer's gotten better at is adjusting versus lefty versus righty, not just platooning, but moving players up and down the lineup. In this case, it's going kind of straight 9 versus left in versus 9, same lineup. But yeah, looks real good. Pitching staff. Let's make sure we have our starters, our preferred starters in here. Jim Cott, Burkeen. Yeah. Hunter. Yep. Gonsolin. I'm having to look for the rotation side here. Haddix. Haddix is the one who's missing. They went with Catnatch, really. With the 30 control. Oh, you know why? Because he's a super small sample size who had a good season. If you look at his real pitching. PB Sim, thank you for the raid. Welcome in Raiders. We are doing a theme sim to finish out a fundraiser donation that I made last month during Pride Month, during fellow streamer Ophi's stream, where I gave away whoever won could name the theme of a stream, of a sim that we would do, and the choice was a cat theme sim. So all the players in the team have a cat theme name. So here, and also pinned to the chat is a form if anyone who rated in wants to guess how this team's going to do. and win some packs. 7 packs for first place, 3 packs for second place. So here are catchers. If there's a name in parentheses afterwards, it's who suggested that name during the roster build. Starting infielders, starting outfielders, and DH. Of course, Kitty Bransfield. Position player reserves. Starting pitching rotation. And the bullpen. They were selected primarily for their cat theme name and nickname, and their skill level was secondary. So I'm pretty sure Bill Garfield and Jim Panther are terrible. We've used Jim Panther before in animal theme sims, and he's not good. But his name is Jim Panther, so he keeps getting selected. We were just looking at why the computer would use Jim Catnach over Harvey Haddix. And it's because he's a small sample size pitcher, and I made the computer not nerf him. So he has the ratings of a 2.12 ERA, 189 ERA plus, 0.94 whip pitcher. So he has the ratings based on this small but very good sample size. So that's why the computer is starting him. And I don't mind it because I think it's fun when these small sample size players go off. And so we intentionally let them do it, because it's just for fun, and it's fun to see like a no-name player get to shine in the sim. So, but we are going to put Haddix in the rotation. So I think Cott can move up. Haddix will take the 5 spot, and then we'll redo it. And so Catnach though might get to be our closer, which would be fun. Yeah, so he's going to put up some good closer numbers, I think. This is very much, if you look at this profile, 70 stuff, 85 PBAV. This is probably like a Mitch Williams, Rob Dibble kind of like high stuff, low control closer profile. So I think it will be fun to watch him pitch. We'll set him as a reliever. Mossy's going to be a reliever. Gilmore and Garfield. Now the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each player and add their year that we imported, but also their nickname, if their cat-themed nickname is what got them on the team. So if you go to editor, you can change their name, but it'll also see what year we brought in, 1984. Oh, he already has the cat in his nickname, so we're good there. And then we can just arrow down through all the players. So Tony Gonsolin, 2022. And Gonsolin's nickname was the Catman. And for names, you do have to hit enter afterwards. But now if you arrow up and then back down, now his nickname will appear. There's the Catman. Catnach is from 1884. He was chosen because he has cat in his last name, so we don't need a nickname field for him. Catfish Hunter, his nickname is actually listed as his first name. He is 1972. Harvey Kitten is already in there, but this is the 1959. Kitty Cat, 1966. The year also helps us find them in leaderboards and all-star game voting records and stuff. Heathcliff Slocum is just there because his name is Heathcliff. Mudcat Grant, 1970. So Jim is his given name. Mudcat, his nickname, is actually taken over as his first name. The Sphinx is in there for Don Mossy already. He's in 1961. Bill Garfield in there because of Garfield, so we don't need a nickname field for him. 1890. Len Gilmore Meow is already in there, so he's in 1944. Jim Panther does not need a nickname. When your name is Jim Panther, you don't need a nickname. 1972. Okay, so we'll do the same for the lineups. Oh, Raja is in there. Nice. Okay. It always feels more legit when we base it off a nickname that's already in the database. K-Line. And this is Mr. Tiger. Big Cat is 1940. Lou Bob is 2021, and the nickname is La Pantera. Amazing nickname. Ruth the Bambino, cat breed Bambino, perfect for us. So we took the 1920 Babe Ruth. I think there's always a good discussion on which version of like a Ruth or a Bonds to take. Now that we have the 1 year import, I'm going to be doing a series of I don't know if it'll be tournaments or seasons. I think it'll be seasons, where we're going to use the completely average league where all the teams are identical and average, and just add a different year version of Babe Ruth or Barry Bonds to that team, so we can figure out which Barry Bonds sims the best, which Babe Ruth sims the best, and then we're going to start using that version in our rosters like this. Berkman is 2001 and is Big Puma. Who was the last one? Did they have? Oh, Ted Simmons is Simba. Katie Bransfield doesn't need a nickname. 1908. Craig Gentry, this is Kitten Face. So 2013. Kitten Face. Don Hoke Tiger is already in there. 1957. Catalanato already has cat in his last name. This is 2001. Quintero, 2006. And Quintero's nickname is El Gato. I thought it would be with a single T, but it was listed with two T's in BREF, I think. So we're going to stick with that. We usually use BREF as like the source of record. Felix the Cat Mion. This is 1976. Chase Cheetah Darno, 2016. All right, that's it. So the whole roster now should have a year. Yep. Cool. All right, so let's go ahead and save this. And we'll change the team name too. It'll be the cat themed Tigers. And now that we did the import, we can change this too. We can make it Ophi. It was her fundraiser we did this for. So okay. Yeah, so almost anything about a team you can change. Just be aware though, I think if you change like the historical team ID, you will lose the logo. There are certain things like that that will mess up some things. But this abbreviation I think you can change without a problem. Now we'll see the logo disappear. Let's see. Nope, it kept it. Because I think I changed the right one there. So the cat themed Tigers, and I think we're ready to save it as a quick start, right? I don't know that there's that much more to do. The pitching staff is set up. The lineups are set. Oh, we didn't set a strategy. Um, do we have a lot of base stealers? We have 2. So we're going to use the method Smiley Face Jane uses. We're going to set the strategy, and then we're going to sort by stealing, and just our top stealers, we're going to give them a little bit of runway to steal. I think just for simplicity, we'll run sabermetric. But these 2 players, it looks like, are going to have the green light to steal. Gentry, by the way, a 70 center fielder. Importing very nicely. Alright, so he's 80 stealing ability, 85 base running. That's really good. So we're going to override for him. And 85 will take all the way up there. That's Gentry. And then Bransfield. We'll set him up 2 ticks away from the right. And what was his base running? Base running's not great. So we'll just put him 1 tick over. Okay. Alright, so we'll save that. Alright, I believe you're ready to start the sim. So what I'll do is I'll save a quick start. And then I will take a 3-minute ad break / BRB. That'll be everyone's 3-minute warning to finish your pack giveaway forms. And so, yeah, so let me, you have a little extra time because I'm not starting the ad break yet. I'm going to save this as a quick start. The quick start is basically a glorified backup that's very easy to reinstate. Okay, so we'll save that. So the quick start saved. Yeah, so now we can do the ad break and the BRB. I need to, you know, I don't even have my water here. What did I do with it? Okay. So good luck, everybody. We'll close the form and check out the guesses when we get back. All right, looks like the ad break is over. For anyone who came in during the break, we are doing a cat theme sim, which is all players of names or nicknames uh, that that are cat or cat related. Should be a fun one. We've imported the players. We made a few adjustments to the computer lineups and rosters based on kind of what we presented as the player intro slides, and we are almost ready to start simming. There's a pack giveaway form pinned to the chat if you want to guess how this team's going to do. And actually, let me get the spreadsheet view of the answers ready. This is for later in the stream when we go to award the packs. So I'll do that to give everyone a little bit of extra time to fill out their forms. There we go, there it is. Right, that looks pretty good. So I think that's ready to look at when the time comes. LLB, are you going to be entering tonight? Are you working on the form, or should we go ahead and get started? Let's see, other folks I saw in the chat who maybe want to play. Ollie North. Find a view's already in there. Yeah, if anyone else, Flash. Oh no, Flash is in there too. Storm Baka, if you want to try to win packs. Perry PHX. Anyone else? Let me know. I'll leave the form open for you. Otherwise, I'm going to close it up. I'm very curious to see what the win total guesses are. It's not often I feel this way, but I have no idea where it's going to be. We do have some Hall of Famers. I think the net distribution did shift a lot higher once we got all the final names in. At least on the lineups. I think on the pitching staff, it's a little more down to earth. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know that there would be any number you can tell me and I would think that was unreasonable. Other than like 10, 10 wins or... I don't know. You could tell me 150. What would I think of that? I don't know. It depends. I think for 150 to depend on how the pitchers do. I don't think 10 is feasible. It's too good for 10. All right. I haven't heard from LLB, so I'm assuming. Let me know in the chat, LB, if you're working the form. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and close it. And anyone else for that matter, if you're working on a form. All right. I'm going to close the form. I can reopen it right up until I show the guesses. So right now it's closed. If you try to submit, let me know. I will open it again and you'll be able to submit the form you currently have. But in the interest of time, we're going to go ahead and get started here. All right. Oh, you know, I did remember some people said they don't always have the volume on. So last call for pack pack giveaway form. And then I'll give it 10 seconds after posting that, and then another 10 seconds for the lag. I keep forgetting there's a lag too, so we'll give. Well, you know what? I guess I should have the form open when I have that message out. So the form is open right now. So if anyone wants to jump in at the last second, they can. All right. I think that's enough time. We're going to go ahead and close the form. And I'm going to show the guesses. All right, thank you for participating. There are 3 of you in tonight's contest. So my condolences to the one person who doesn't win packs. There will only be one person who doesn't win packs tonight. It's so funny. We have 187 viewers and 3 entries. In our late night the other night, we had like 32 viewers and had like 9 entries. The ratio is like totally different at nighttime and during the day. All right, so let's go ahead and show the guesses. All right, no one thinks this team will be the worst in the majors, or worst in the AL, or worst in the division. Um, 2/3 of you think. Okay, so one of you thinks this team will not make the playoffs. One of you thinks it won't win the division. Okay, there are 2 like all-in people who think they're going to win the World Series, and one who thinks they're not going to even make the playoffs. So very different views here, and so I think possible that we have a early decision on the survival stop part, and then we'll go to the second place part. 2 of you think there's a Cy Young winner and an MVP. So it feels like 2 people are all in. No, fine to me. I know. I just didn't want to put it on the chat. I knew it wasn't intentional. I was 100% clear it was a typo. Don't worry. But I appreciate you clarifying. I knew you would do that. All right, so yeah, so 2 people are all in. Win the division, go to the World Series, win the World Series, Cy Young, MVP. And then we have a complete sayer of nay who says no playoffs, no Cy Young, no MVP. I think both are totally valid. I don't. I mean, it helps that we have Babe Ruth on the team now. That feels like a big deal. But we'll see. All right, let's start the sim. The first thing we usually do is we go to opening day and look at the preseason predictions. So in 2025, opening day starts with the Tokyo series. So sim that you see generating MLB season predictions. That's what we're looking for. And we'll go MLB reports and info preseason predictions. And the Cat Theme Tigers, 139 wins is the preseason prediction. 1,372 runs, a 326 average, 364 home runs, 89 stolen bases, and a 3.63 ERA. So by far the highest runs and average and home runs in the league. And just by a little, the best ERA in the league as well. So that bodes well. Let's look at the player predictions. Babe Ruth, number 1. Johnny Mize, number 2. Both projected to hit over 70 bombs. Ruth, I think because the strikeouts get exaggerated in modern era, Ruth's average is actually pretty low relative to his career stats. Mize is projected to hit 325. Hornsby 384 with 45 home runs. Bransfield 358 with 30 home runs. Berkman 328, 47 home runs. Kaline 346 with 32 home runs. And then we've got Judge and Kurtz, then Ted Simmons. Ted Simba Simmons 358 and 29 home runs. So this team has the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The top 6 batters and 7 of the top 10. On the pitching side, Burkeen number 1, Catfish Hunter number 2, Eovaldi sneaking in there, and then Harvey Haddix at number 4, and then Gonsolin at number 5. So 1, 2, 4. Gonsolin number 10. 1, 2, 4, and 10. Who are we missing? Oh, wait, Jim Cott didn't make it. Jim Cott didn't make the top 10 pitchers. Wow. I assume he's like just off the list here. It's weird to me that Gonsolin made it and Cott didn't. Like, what are their relative ratings? Did I bring in the wrong version of Jim Cott? I brought in 66. No, I think that's right. Yeah, 153 ERA plus, went 25 and 13. So Cott's an example. There are certain pitchers and batters who, even their best seasons, they just don't fit the algorithm very well. In most versions I ever played of OOTP, Tony Gwynn is another one like that. Wade Boggs too, where whatever it is about their stats gets translated into ratings that then translate into stats again in the game that are just kind of underwhelming. And I think this 1966 Jim Cott profile might be one of those. Because the whip is good, 1.07. The ERA plus is good. But yeah, it's just not translating well. It's also too like this lower stuff, lower HRA, high control profile. Even with a lower control but a peak somewhere else, usually in stuff, turns out to be a much better profile. I just think this profile just doesn't do well in the game. Like the control god with nothing else usually doesn't do great. But I think because of the run support, I think he'll be fine. I think he'll actually do pretty well. I think the projection is maybe underselling him, and even though the ratings kind of are not ideal for the game, I do think he'll do pretty well. I think he's just not projecting well, but we'll see. That's part of the fun of playing it out. See what happens. But yeah, so that's why he didn't make the top 10 in the projections. I was pretty surprised though that Gonsolin made, but a lot of that is probably run support, helping him get to a good 1-loss record, and boosting some of his counting stats. All right, so let's see how it goes. We'll go to get to our opening day. We need to go past the Tokyo series. March 27th is when everyone else starts their season. Why did the Cubs and Dodgers... Did one of their games get rained out in the Tokyo Dome? I think that's what happened. If we go to scores... Yeah, canceled due to bad weather, rescheduled for April 22nd. So this is interesting. The Tokyo series is played in the Tokyo Dome. But when you sim it, because occasionally we'll be with the Cubs or the Dodgers, so we'll be in this series to start the season. If you sim it, because the Cubs are the home team, the graphics are for Wrigley Field. And apparently, so are the ballpark settings because you can have a rain out. So the Tokyo Series game in the Tokyo Dome got rained out, which is pretty funny. All right, so we start the season a game short already. Um, the the Cubs did win that game, that one game of the Tokyo Series. Okay, so we'll go to the scores view. We'll hide scores. Ours is a interleague game, so we're gonna have to come down here to find it. Okay, so we're not here with the American League games because it's interleague and it's at the Dodgers. We're down here, the NL League, and then the interleague games come first. So we're going to hide scores. We're going to quick play this game. It's Burkeen versus Kershaw, so battle of lefties. Watch the highlight reel. All right, so we go to the top of the fourth. One hitters both sides. One hit shutouts on both sides, and the Cat Theme team has a runner on second with Lance Berkman up in a full count. We do have the favorable lefty-righty matchup. Berkman drives it to right field. It's over the right fielder's head, off the wall. That should score one. Berkman may be able to make it. No, Berkman is in second with a RBI double. So it's a 1-0 game head to the bottom of the fifth. The Dodgers are up. Burkeen's still in the game. Will Smith leading off with a 1-1 count. A little blooper in the right field. That's going to drop in. Now, the way the highlights work, I'm pretty sure Will Smith will somehow make it to second base. 0-2 count to Mookie Betts. Goes down swinging. So 1 out. No, that was it. Okay, I was wrong. So one of the things that will trigger a highlight a lot of times is runner in scoring position. But yeah, I don't know why that was the highlight. That's interesting. All right, bottom of the sixth. Still a 1-run game. Andy Paja is up. First pitch from Burkeen. Line drive into the left field corner. Right off the wall. He might have hit that hard enough that it might be a long single. But let's see how the throw comes in. Nope, it's way offline. So he's in safely with a double. I don't know if it's an animation thing, but in OOTP27 in particular, I feel like I've seen a lot of very long singles. Miguel Rojas with 1 out and a 2-2 count. Pops him up. Looks like the second baseman's under it. Squeezes it for the out. Oh, Gold Glove winner, Felix Millan. Nice. All right, 1-2 count. 2 outs. Ground ball to first. Unassisted. And it stays a 1-run game. Bottom of the seventh, still a 1-run game. Shohei versus Burkeen. 0-1 count. Ground ball to the pitcher. The throw to first. Oh, that's going to be trouble. When the throw is really slow like that, usually it's the animation for an infield hit. All right, Will Smith with a 1-2 count. And he smacks that ball but pops it up in a shallow right field. Second baseman's under it. And Millan records the out. 1 out and a 2-1 count to Mookie Betts. Ground ball to short. Oh, the big Ezra Denny hop. So that's going to be a base hit. Here, let me show you this. So I watch a lot of OOTP After Dark with Ezra Denny. He's the one who pointed this out. When the ground ball takes this big hop, like right there, the runner's always safe. In fact, let's give Ezra a shout out. If you're not already following Ezra Denny, please remedy that immediately. Super fun OOTP streamer. Also does Saturday night live streams simming various strategy games on Saturday nights. Also is on Quest and Chaos, where he does tabletop RPG streams. Really, really great streamer. Really awesome person. Please follow and check out his stream. All right, lefty-lefty matchup here with 1 out and a 3-1 count facing Max Muncy. Muncy does have a good eye, so I'm a little worried about the walk here, despite Burkeen's control. Yep, there's a walk. Bases are now loaded. 1 out and a full count to Conforto. Mets legend Michael Conforto. Infield is in. Big strikeout looking. Oh, Wow. 2 outs and a 1-1 count to Tommy Edman. Fly ball to left. It looks like it's got enough height to stay in the park, and it is out number 3, and Burkeen works himself out of the jam. Bottom of the 8th, Burkeen's still in the game, facing Andy Pajes. 0-1 count. Ground ball to short. There was no big Ezra Denny hop, so pretty sure we'll get the out there, and we do. 2 outs and a 1-2 count to Freddie Freeman. I like the lefty-lefty matchup here. Freeman goes down swinging. So Burkeen strong through 8. Top of the 9th, looking for some insurance. Ted Simba Simmons. 2 outs and a 2-2 count. Line drive into left. Does it have the distance? It does. It's gone. So it's a 2-run game as we head to the bottom of the 9th. 0-1 count to Shohei Ohtani, leading things off. Ground ball to first. Pitcher covering. They do make the exchange and get the out at first. Oh, Catnatch is in the game. Small sample size Catnatch. Awesome. Mookie Betts, 2 outs and a 2-2 count. Gets them looking. And the cat-themed Tigers win game 1, 2-0 over the Dodgers. All right, so Kershaw takes a loss. Burkeen throws the shutout. No, sorry. Does not throw the shutout. Throws 8 shutout innings. The save by Catnatch. All right, let's go to the standings view. Let's knock out the month of March, and then we'll do April before we really take a closer look at things. Cat Team Tigers are 3-1. Pretty good start. And let's do all of April. Gonsolin's pitcher of the month. Team wins 8 in a row. Al Kaline wins Player of the Week. 4 home run streak by Kaline. 8 RBI streak. 8 game RBI streak. I said I think he'll be fine. Jim Cott 20 scoreless inning streak. All right, let's take a look at that pitcher of the month by Gonsolin. In April, he went 4-0 with a 1.53 ERA in 5 starts, 35 strikeouts, and 35 in the third innings. Best batter went to Harrison Bader. I don't think we have any rookies. We might. It's possible. 16 strikeout masterpiece by Burkeen. Nice. All right, Babe Ruth with 15 home runs. He is leading the majors. Second in RBI. Kitty Bransfield second in stolen bases. ERA, Burkeen, Gonsolin, and Cott 1, 2, and 3. Gonsolin leading in wins. Burkeen leading in strikeouts. How's Catnatch doing in the bullpen? Uh, 0-1 with 6 saves, 3.12 ERA. So not great. The bullpen in general not doing great. Heathcliff Slocum with a 12.38 ERA. Wow. Good thing the starters are bringing it, other than Catfish Hunter. The 1-2 punch of Burkeen Gonsolin has been nuts. All right, let's go to the month of May. "15-game run streak by Ruth, 14-game winning streak by the team, 8 consecutive hit streak by Hornsby." That's not 8 games with a hit. That's 8 hits in a row. May 26th, we're already shifting to win now from neutral. Hornsby's almost hitting 400. Ruth is leading the majors and home runs, but Aaron Judge just one home run behind 1920 Babe Ruth. Kitty Bransfield leading the majors in stolen bases. No one tell lap. No one tell lap, please. On the pitching side, Burkeen still leading in ERA. Gonsolin, Burkeen, and Cott 1, 2, and 2 in wins. And Burkeen leading in strikeouts. So Burkeen potentially in triple crown position here. Let's see if our bullpen has settled down a bit. No, we're still carrying a 7 ER with Garfield, a 7.5 ER with Heathcliff. Heathcliff and Garfield are terrible. Who would have thought cartoon cats would not make good relief pitchers? And Len Meow Gilmore, 8.57 ERA. This is like turning into a Crater roster team with our scrub relief pitchers and our legend level starting pitchers here. But Catnatch is starting to figure it out. 0-1 with 11 saves, 2.30 ERA. The whip is still a bit high. The strikeouts per 9 are incredible, 12.1. So we'll see how he comes along. All right, let's sim the month of May. 40. Oh no, that was finishing May because our owner interrupted the month. That's what it was. So let's see. Did we win any more pitcher batter of the month awards? So Judge was the batter of the month. Rodon was the pitcher of the month. And we don't. I don't think we have a rookie. Ruth leading in OPS with a 1239. Johnny Mize with 1136. Hornsby with 1131. Berkman 1048 and Kaline 1031. And Bransfield hitting a robust 341. All right. Let's sim the month of June. We are doing a good job hanging around that 800 win percentage. I probably jinxed it, but no, we're staying.